Let's take a look at the what is it? Corinne Bush, which I think, if I remember correctly, from Corinne Bush, she was the the director or the lead producer for the Dragon Age? I'm not too sure. I could be totally wrong. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not really great with names, but I think that's who it is. But anyways, apparently she spoke. She spoke out the truth behind the BioWare downfall. This is going to be very interesting to be hearing, actually. I actually wanted to see the previous video, but I didn't, I didn't see the previous video, but I wouldn't mind taking a look at this to see if, what's been happening behind the scenes in the studio, in the background. So might as well, right?
Corinne Bush has officially broken his silence on why they left BioWare via Blue Sky. They go on to talk about the dismissal and how they
Blue Sky. I see.
left the organization and why they're moving on to a...
Let me see. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Wait, I want to encourage everyone not to read too much into this. This was my decision so I can continue making the kind of RPG we enjoy. You do know your RPG didn't do well, right? You do understand that your RPG did not do well.
The dismissal and how they left the organization.
Thank you for entrusting me with our dear Dragon Age. It was an honor to be a steward for the franchise and to play a part in ensuring its continuance. Biggest of shout outs to the wonderful blah 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 blah, without whom I don't know if I'd had the fortitude.
And why they're moving on to a different location to...
So extremely excited to see what BioWare does with Mass Effect, and trust that I'll be rooting for them the whole while. You mean the whole way? Don't you mean the whole way?
Work on RPGs, and this is just the proverbial tip of the iceberg when it comes to BioWare in peril. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Not only has Corinne Bush taken to Blue Sky, letting everyone know that why he left and what's going on, but in addition to that, BioWare itself seems to be imploding from the inside, with many top leaders leaving.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of the top leaders would be leaving, to be honest.
And no job openings available.
There are no positions matching your search. Please select a different option or try again later. Product management, quality verification, sales, security, software development, studio, technical writer, university graduate, user research, workplaces.
It's gotta make you wonder. Even though Jeff Grubb said, no, there's no truth to the rumors that BioWare Edmonton could be...
Corinne Bush, director of the Dragon Age, really is leaving BioWare, but I don't think EA is closing BioWare in Edmonton. Well, so there is nothing solid about the part of the rumor. I wouldn't be surprised if Mass Effect does not do well, that they close the studios. I would not be surprised.
Shutting down in February 2025. Why does everything seem to be pointing to that rumor I reported on being correct? Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down Corinne Bush breaking his silence and telling everybody why he left. Corinne Bush, the controversial trans game director known for injecting trans ideology into the
yeah, you could have fooled me, to be honest.
highly contested fantasy role-playing game Dragon Age the Veilguard has officially announced his departure from BioWare on Blue Sky. This comes as really no surprise to anyone who's been following the growing struggles within BioWare and EA over the past...
Hey man, at least you guys found out how to way to transform your guys' self, I guess, like metamorphosis you guys yourself, but not perfect though, but not bad though, not bad. Well, me, who I can have like over 1,000 forms, Never let her cook again.
few months. Grums and I previously broke this story before what appeared to be stolen by the mainstream media outlets and crediting it to Jeff Grubb. They really have no shame when it comes to this kind of stuff, and of course, they're not redacting it or correcting their stories to put who actually broke the story, because these people don't like people that are not part of the official club of the media, and God forbid they actually give credit to the ones that earned it. Corinne Bush on Blue Sky said, well, I suppose you've heard, ... Yes, I've made the decision to leave BioWare. I want to encourage everyone not to read too much into this. This was my decision so I could continue making the kind of RPGs you, and then in parentheses, we, enjoy.
Yeah, but you do know that your RPG, right, wasn't that good. You do know that, right? Like, you can make your own RPG if you want. Like, that's fine. But, like, you used a Dragon Age license to make whatever this is, and it didn't even came out good. Now you're gonna say you're gonna make your own? If you're gonna use that same formula that you used for this game into that game, it's also not gonna do very well either. I'm just saying.
Thank you for the outpouring of love and support. You mean the world to me. And I find it fascinating that right away in the first message that they put out there, they say, don't read too far into this, it was my decision. As if this is something that we could provably call them out on. If EA and BioWare went to Corinne Bush and were like, hey, look, it didn't pan out, this game failed miserably, and we really need to boot you from this company because it's not going to be good going forward. So we can either fire you or give you the option to resign on your own and tell people that you have something else going on out there and say...
I would not be surprised if that was an option on the table, to be honest, for them to leave.
...for both of us, and you can make the decision on what you want, but either way,
yeah,
you're out the door.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Corinne is saying, don't read too far into this, where I think that's actually pretty important. Why would somebody proactively be leaving Dragon Age the Veilguard if the game was successful? Why would they depart BioWare after decades of working there if they had no reason to leave? So yeah, people are going to read into this. And then going into, this was my decision so I could continue making the kind of RPGs you, and then parentheses, we, enjoy? Who is the you that you're referring to here? This game massively underperformed, and the we is the vocal minority. Some might even argue that's the modern audience, because the vast majority of people that played Dragon Age the Veilguard were not happy with the injected trans ideology and over the top. So,
even then, as someone who does story writing and stuff, who like enjoys writing stories and like making characters and making worlds and stuff like that, right? Man, dude, when I was playing this game, dude, it just kind of like sucked the soul out of me. It just made me want to stop playing video games. Just straight up, dude. I was just like, oh man, dude, the writing in this game is so fucking bad, dude. Like, holy shit, man, it was terrible. Holy crap. This is like this is also like my first BioWare game too. This is literally straight up like the first BioWare game I have ever touched. And man, dude, holy shit, man. Jesus Christ.
Inserts. And then, of course, notice how he sources Eurogamer's article that sources Jeff Grubb as the source for this rumor and information. And again, it's one big club, even going so far as it's not just the journal mafia that sticks together, but the developers are in bed with the journos. And I gotta be honest, this kind of feels a lot like that original Gamergate and how the ethics in journalism and how behind the scenes they were all buddy-buddy feels to be rearing its ugly head once again here. But he continues, saying, thank you for entrusting me with our dear Dragon Age. It was an honor to be a steward for the franchise and to play a part in ensuring its continuance. Biggest shout out to the wonderful E. Epler JC Blue Sky Social, without whom I don't know if I'd have had the...
Wait. John Epler was the creative director, writer, other stuff for Dragon Age the Veilguard, currently narrative director on stuff. You were the creative director and writer for Dragon Age the Veilguard? Bro, whatever you were cooking for a story for Dragon Age Veilguard, I'm gonna need you to stop, dude. I need you to go find another job. Holy shit, dude. Your story writing is pretty fucking terrible, dude. I would be straight up honest with you. If you actually wrote the story for this game, I'm gonna need you to stop. That's about it, you know? I'm gonna need you to go look for something else, in my personal opinion. I don't know, but that's just my personal opinion.
See Blue Sky Social, without whom I don't know if I'd have had the fortitude. Meaning, I read into that hearing that this person had no idea what the hell they were doing. They just wanted to make sure they saw themselves in this game, and screw anybody that wanted to play an actual fantasy RPG that didn't have a self-insert of someone who was mentally unhinged, but someone who's trans and pushing ideologies on the players of the game that just wanted to play a fantasy RPG. I mean, this in itself kind of exposes him for exactly what the problem was all along. And I find it very comical that he goes on to say, play a part in ensuring its continuance. There is no guarantee that Dragon Age will ever continue after how bad this game flopped.
No.
And for additional context, the Epler JC Blue Sky is John Epler, who was the creative director, writer, and as he puts it on his Blue Sky, quote unquote, other stuff for Dragon Age the Veilguard.
So weird, to be honest.
To paint his picture as a personal decision, the broader context tells everyone a very different story. Dragon Age the Veilguard was a significant commercial failure, rumored to sell only 1.5 million copies against a ridiculous original target of 10 million. For a franchise,
you were expecting to sell 10 million? Oh, man. Eesh, yikes.
As storied as Dragon Age was originally, this shortfall was nothing short of absolutely catastrophic. Corinne's leadership is widely regarded as a key factor in this failure, leaving many gamers understandably very wary of any future projects that he's going to be involved with. And many that I've seen assume that they wouldn't be surprised to see him trans back to being a man again to fit the next game company that he goes on to work for. Because at the end of the day, it's not about making the games, it's about ensuring job security for these people and pushing an ideology and a narrative. In one final Blue Sky post on the situation, Corinne hinted at their next steps, stating, "So extremely excited to see what BioWare does with Mass Effect, and I trust I'll be rooting for them the whole while." So seeing this here actually gives me some hope that Mass Effect will find a way to continue and move on and actually be created for
I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know if Mass Effect will save them. Will save them from the ground up, because remember Mass Effect Andromeda, how that became a thing? I don't know, man. I don't know. The copium is pretty hard in this one, to be honest. To be honest, this is the first BioWare game I played, and this will probably be the last BioWare game I'll ever play.
people to play it. But based off the surrounding circumstances going on at BioWare right now, even that is subject to change. Corinne may be excited to move on. Gamers are already in the know and proactively preparing and warning others to steer clear of any projects he helms in the future. Given all the damage done to the Dragon Age brand under their watch, skepticism here is more than warranted.
Yep, that's true. You leave a pretty, like, if you sign up for another like game like studio, you better not put Dragon Age the Veilguard as like, oh yeah, one of the games that I worked on. Just don't even mention that you worked on Dragon Age and you'll be fine. But the moment you put in Dragon Age in your resume for another studio to sign up to another studio, oh man, that's gonna be a tough time for you to get in, to be honest.
BioWare and EA has a much broader crisis going on now that Corinne Boyce.
Because to be honest, if I see someone who worked on Dragon Age or so, right, and they were like the higher ups or so, in like the lead producer, the lead, whatever lead to whatever group, you know, lead designer, lead whatever this, you know, and like I see that they've been working on Dragon Age and they're trying to sign up to my studio, I'd be like, next.
Has jumped off the proverbial sinking ship that they created themselves. Corinne's departure shines a light on the larger issues at BioWare and EA. The developer has been hemorrhaging talent for years, and between Mass Effect, Andromeda, Anthem, and now Dragon Age the Veilguard, their complete inability to deliver...
I have not got to this scene yet in Dragon Age, but I haven't even bothered continuing Dragon Age just because I'm just like, I'd rather go play Metaphor in my personal opinion. So I was like, I've had more fun in Metaphor than I had with this game.
hit games
Hey, Yannick.
has only accelerated the terminal decline. A visit to BioWare's career page reveals a startling lack of open positions. In fact, as of today, BioWare has currently 0 job openings in any department anywhere. Almost as if they've implemented some sort of company-wide hiring freeze while they sort out what next steps are for BioWare proper. Pair this...
Yeah, they could probably be doing a restructuring behind the scenes, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised on that, actually. Because you would have to do a restructuring because of how this game was received. And the worst part about it, it's from EA. You know? EA don't like that. EA wants money. And if you're not making money, EA be mad.
With my inside source warning about how folks at the Edmonton studio in particular are concerned that their office will be shut down come February 2025, it has to make you wonder what's going on with BioWare in general. And sure, Jeff Grubb said, no, there's no truth to those rumors, when I'm seeing all the evidence to the contrary. My source was right on this one. The lack of hiring and...
If BioWare shuts down in February...
I won't even recognize Veilguard as a game. All I can see is that it's just an expensive interactive social justice and gender study material for a private school that offers social science degrees.
Man, I don't even know what kind of game it is, to be honest. Like, even like the combat feels really boring, to be honest, straight up. Also, like, if it does close down in February, there will be no Mass Effect. I'm just saying, there will be no Mass Effect. Damn, dude, that'd be crazy to hear if that studio actually shuts down.
And job availability alongside the major positions being vacated at present signals either a severe financial crisis for EA, the parent company of BioWare, or a major...
If I remember correctly, they don't have the license name for FIFA. It was either FIFA or Madden. I forgot which one what it was. I know they don't have the license for one of their sports games.
Major restructuring effort that is underway right now, neither of which bodes very well for the studio's future. With Mass Effect already on shaky ground after Andromeda and Anthem proving disastrous,
True.
It's hard to imagine BioWare regaining any of the glory it once had at this rate. And honestly, the way they've been hiring people, putting people in positions of power and decision making that go directly against what gamers actually want in their games, they kind of brought this all on themselves. But going back to Korean Bush, one of the most intriguing aspects of the story is where he's gonna end up next. He has multiple concerning posts, I would say, on Blue Sky where gamers don't want anything to do with the ideologies that are being pushed. And one of them, Corinne says, if you're able, post your flags. If you're unable, you're still valid and loved. And posts a whole bunch of colored pride flags and trans flags for trans...
I only know the one on the left. I don't even know any of these two on the right, to be honest.
Trans rights and whatever.
Companies like BlackRock and Vanguard subsidizes this BS, so don't let up the pressure on these a-holes.
I forgot who BlackRock is, but yeah.
Push here, but this is not anything gamers care about. And while somebody is clearly more than valid and welcome to push their ideologies on social media and let people know what they like, when you start injecting it into games, that's when gamers take a stand against it. In another post, Corinne Bush said, I wish everyone against puberty blockers for trans youth would experience the pain we often endure. Your face peeled back to reshape your skull, breast tissue removed, hundreds of hours of electrolysis, trauma. But I can't really wish this. I'm not a monster. I wish you access to empathy.
You do know that puberty blockers is bad for like the young generation, right? Like, you do know this for a fact, right? A kid's body development is developing through those specific ages, you know? And if you mess with the cycle of them naturally growing and you decide to inject puberty blockers for it, you know you're gonna fuck them up, right? I hope this person knows that, right? Like the science behind it, right? Like even like transitioning, like even like as an adult from like an adult male transitioning over to a female, there's also like bad caveats too as well, you know? And there's also like really bad you know, when transitioning from a male to female, there's also really bad there's just a lot of cons compared to pros to changing over from male to female, you know, because you guys haven't
What's
really
the unemployed
solved.
pride flag, and people pushing this crap on kids deserve to be put under the jail?
They, like I said, they don't really know that like there's a lot of cons into that specific issue of transitioning over compared to like the positives, because you haven't really like, you guys haven't really resolved any of that shit, to be honest, for them to like I get it, right? It's not really like an important thing or so for like a study or so, but like, you know, you kind of want to minimize it as much as possible. But the problem is like there's not enough research in your guys' like endeavor, so from like switching from male to female or female to male, either or, you know, you guys haven't really done like a lot of research on that because it's not really a top priority at the end of the day compared to like, you know, solving cancer or like solving Alzheimer's, you know, or being able to like regenerate a missing hand or something if it gets cut off or something, you know. You guys haven't really solved any of that stuff, you know,
Hashtag trans rights.
because those are
And
more important.
not really sure what he's trying to imply with that one, but to me it sure is.
Is that supposed to be him? Was that him in the past or something? Why am I getting shown this picture? Is that him in the past or something? What the fuck happened?
Sounds like that's something that
If that actually is him. I don't think it is, though. So that's what they looked like in 2020, and this is what they look like in 2021. You can really transform like that in 1 year? That's kind of crazy in my personal opinion. That's crazy.
Definitely don't want anything to do with supporting someone that says that kind of stuff. He's expressed a desire to continue making RPGs, but what studio in their right mind would take on such a risk? While Corinne implies that he has a gig lined up elsewhere already, there's been no official confirmation of that beyond just rumors. And Corinne's track record at BioWare is undeniably tied to the failure of Dragon Age the Veilguard.
True.
Any company willing to bring them on board will have...
Do what you want, you're an adult, but hey, teachers, leave them kids alone. It's, yeah, like, you can do whatever you want when you're an adult, but the problem is like, the problem is there's still too many cons for you to transition over from a male to a female. There's like still so many cons. Like there's so much like the cons outweigh the positives. That's the problem, you know? That's what I'm saying.
Have to directly contend with a skeptical player base that knowingly is following this person to ensure that they do not support them and purchase any games they're involved with moving forward. In fact, Corinne Bush has turned into a very toxic developer in the grand landscape of consumers purchasing products, which again puts me back to the position of, wouldn't be shocked if Corinne Bush untrans themselves and tries to look like and sound like and take on a different name again to try to hide who they are. I'll be following this story very closely as it's developing, because the question of just who out there would gamble their reputation on Corinne Bush is one...
Yeah, that's pretty true. Like, they're not wrong whatsoever. Like, who would also take a gamble and have this person work in their studios after finding out and learning that they're tied to Dragon Age the Veilguard? You know for a fact that none of the Asian studios would accept this person, you know? probably some random studio in the probably somewhere in the western side maybe, but definitely not in the Asian territory. Definitely not. None of the Asian studios would ever want to have this person be have any control whatsoever.
I'm extremely curious of to see answered. For now, the departure marks yet another.
That's crazy to see that they changed in like 2 years, you know? That's what they look like in 2020. That's what they look like in 2021. And then this is what they look like in 2022. Crazy. Takes about like 2 years for one male human to transform into a female. While I can like transform into any form I want to be in an instant. So
another chapter in the saga of BioWare's ongoing decline and raises serious questions about the studio's future under EA's guidance. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you.
that was a very good video, to be honest. Like I'll be honest with you, like I never knew who was the lead producer or lead whatever, you know. I don't know what major role that this person was. Let's see. The game director. Okay, so Karina Bush, the controversial trans game director known as injecting trans ideologies into highly contested fantasy role-playing games, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, has officially announced his departure from BioWare. So they were the game director for Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't let them cook anymore. I'll be straight up honest with you, to be honest. To be honest, if that's what they want to do in role-playing games, go make your own. I'm going to be honest with you, but I'll be very honest with you. You're not going to sell a lot of copies if you're going to do that in role-playing games and like RPG games. See, this is one of the reasons why I play JRPG games. Because you don't have any of these weird shenanigans in like RPG games. What was the last RPG game that I played like from the Western side? I wouldn't say the Western side. I played The Witcher 3, but I never completed it though. Mostly a lot of my RPGs are from JRPGs. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Is there any RPG that I know off the top of my head that I played? No, I don't think so. And even then I can't really. I know there's Skyrim. Never played Skyrim. I know there's Fallout. I've never played Fallout. I haven't touched any of the BioWare games until this Dragon Age one, but oh god. Jesus Christ.
Why is it that you can tell all of these people are social landmines just by looking at them?
I don't know, to be honest. I have no idea why. Oh my gosh, so tired. Yeah. It's weird. It's very interesting to be kind of seeing this actually. Hey man, it's whatever, man. You do what you want to do, you know. You do what you want to do, Corinne Bush, you know. But there's gonna be a harsh reality where like whatever this weird ideology that you're putting into games or so, it's definitely not gonna work a second time. That's all I gotta say. But anyways, yeah, I just kind of wanted to see this specifically of who was basically like at fault basically of the whole Dragon Age: The Veilguard. And we're looking at the person, Corinne Bush, the game director for Dragon Age. And well, oh Lord to behold, EA lost a lot of money, and we'll see what happens. I'd be curious to hear if the studio actually shuts down or not in February. We're gonna find out from like a month from now if the studio actually closes, or EA is gonna let them do, or else EA is gonna let them do a freaking Mass Effect, but I think in my personal opinion, if I was EA, I'd probably would think about it pretty hard, to be honest. They lost money from, it all started from what the fuck is the name of that one game that they started with again? I forgot. It's the one with the robots. That one. And then they did Mass Effect Andromeda, which it failed. And then they did Dragon Age the Veilguard. And then that even failed even more, to be honest. So that's 3 games. They failed 3 games. So I just don't remember. I just don't remember that robot game that they decided to do a while back. That was their first downfall too as well. Oh, Anthem. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that was their first major fail as a game on that one, to be honest. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff, and well, at least we know who it was. I didn't know it was this person, to be honest. Karina Bush, which is a transgender person. Like, like I said, I'm not hating on, like, if you're trans or so, whatever, you know, and you're making games and stuff like that. But the problem is like, man, dude, you just suck at your job, though. That's all I gotta say. And yeah, that's the end of the video, and peace.